I hope you are seated in a place where you can take notes, and you can, feel free to text me and ask me questions. But I really want you, thanks a lot, to take notes so that, you might find that you have questions at another time, or you didn't think of the questions and now they have come up. So I'm encouraging you to do that. In the meanwhile, I'm going to alert the people in the group that we've gotten started. Give me 1 second. Please announce yourself when you get on. Say hi to me so I know who's joined us, please. I won't take your whole evening tonight. Hi, everyone. Facebook user, please say your name. Okay, when you have not given Facebook or StreamYard permission to say your name, it's going to show up for me as Facebook user. So please, just when you are saying hello, put your name next to it, and then it won't need you to do that over and over, okay? Please announce yourself, and if you have questions, feel free to text them to me. Oh, hi there. How are you, buddy? How are you doing? Do you have any questions you want me to go over? I know you texted me a little while ago, but do you have any questions on anybody, Abdullah, you, especially you, I want you, if you have any questions about speaking to people or an objection that might have come up as you've been speaking to people. And this way I can help you with dialogue and scripts. I am sure whatever you guys come across, I've been through it before. Hi there, New Jersey, Wadina. How are you? If you have any questions, if you have any experiences that you are going through in your real estate investing business, we're talking probate tonight, but the basic topic is scripts and dialogues. And one of the reasons that I love doing these trainings on scripts and dialogues is because, again, when I first got started in real estate as an agent and an investor, I chose the best possible trainers that I could find. And I didn't limit myself to the money. I really looked for like who was the best that I could find, and who would give me access to speaking to them and questioning them. And based on that, both of my mentors, coaches at that time, Robert Allen, you guys know Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, his father, and also a few others, but my broker at the time, Chuck McGill, they all really said scripts and dialogues make a big difference. Master the scripts, master the art of talking to people. It is an art. Nobody is born that way. If you know me and we communicate, you've heard me say that I used to be so afraid. I can't even believe that I have, spoken in churches internationally. I have spoken at conferences in different places in different states, and because I used to be very afraid to speak to people, and it was because I was focusing on myself. Once you focus on yourself, then you lose what you're there for, because you start thinking scripts before I was never tickets. Awesome. Okay. Yes, you have to take scripts and dialogue seriously. I like to talk. I like to connect and have a conversation. It's not a one-sided training where I just talk. I share with you what I've been through or what the people I'm coaching and mentoring tell me they're going through, including the agents in my real estate office in New York, what they're going through, the people that I mentor that are real estate agents or brokers in other states, what they tell me they're going through. And for me, I remember when I first went on my first listing appointment, after I had spent a lot of money, invested a lot of money on my farm area. So again, I'm encouraging you to take a pen and a piece of paper, and I'm going to encourage you to invest in a loose leaf binder like this. But if you're in the Yellow Letter Mentoring program, you're going to get one of these in the mail. And it's going to come, and we give you like little parts. We give you first the basics, and it's broken up in four like different subject spaces. One is how to start up your business. So you will have this, and we put some loose leaves so you can take notes. But if you're not in the Yellow Letter Mentoring, stop off at a dollar store, get yourself one of these and keep notes. If you came to any one of my houses, you will see in all my garages, I have this like tons and tons of trainings that I've taken over the years. And then I go back and study it, and I go back and read. I have trainings from the 70s and 80s. I have trainings from, the 90s, the 2000s, because trainings are very, very valuable. And that's what most people seem to forget. The more you train and understand, and the parts of the business that you have to master is definitely learning how to communicate with people, learning how to speak. Every industry I've been in, I first figure out what are the 5 money-making activities. When I was in multi-level marketing, I figured out what are the 5 money-making activities. When I had my Highline car business, where I rented very high-end cars, this was before Uber, I searched and I studied what are the 5 top money-making activities that I had to do. When I learned to become a person that I call myself a teacher, some people call me a minister, an apostle, this, that, and the other, but I studied what are the 5 things that I have to understand to get people to really change how they think. So you have to figure out in your business, your real estate business, what are the 5 money-making activities you have to master? And you have to put a process in place to master it. One of them is you have to always be finding people that are looking to sell or buy real estate. You got to master a system in place. And in the beginning, you don't have a lot of cash for a lot of people, or they don't prioritize it, or they've already invested with these big gurus who they're not even doing real estate. They're not doing what they're teaching you. They're either doing, more of the promoting their product, or they are focusing on something else that you always encourage the fundamental. Yes, the fundamentals are key. They don't change anything. It's like somebody that wants to lose weight. If you don't stop eating the bad food, if you don't drink more water, if you don't exercise, those are the basics. You gotta focus on the basics. And I get tired of people listening to these people that tell you all the stuff and you get nowhere. You gotta master the money-making activities. As a real estate investor, you have to focus on what do you do to make sure that you are finding motivated sellers. Motivated sellers are people with problems. They have real estate issues. They're not, even if they had $1 million and they want to buy $1 million home, they have a real estate problem. If they have, somebody in the family that passed away, and they got to get rid of this problem, they have a real estate issue. So it's always about the real estate issue. And again, when you join in, when you make your comments, please just put your name at the bottom, because all I'm seeing is Facebook user. So you have to make sure that you are, stop eating those cookies and pay attention. But you have to make sure that you put a game plan in place that is always marketing for motivated sellers. So one of the things you want to do is you want to, yes, Sheena, stop stuffing your face, but you want to make sure that you are always speaking to get people to tell you about their real estate issue. That's what scripts and dialogues are all about. Tonight, I'm going to give you scripts and dialogues for probate, because there's going to be a lot of situations, probate, foreclosures, people relocating, people that can't afford their home anymore, people that have to move to another state or even another country. You're going to be so amazed at like the opportunities before you, but you won't recognize them or be in connection with them if you don't learn to master the basics. So as I was saying before, what you want to make sure of is that you are always communicating to get motivated sellers. So 5 money-making activities for your industry. 1, finding motivated sellers. You always need to have a list of people that you're communicating with a letter, with a text, with an email, with a phone call, with somebody else, or, those are the ways to communicate. Don't be afraid to text people. Don't be afraid to email people. Don't be afraid to have a voice conversation with people. Don't be afraid of that, because that's the muscle you need to grow it. Again, when I first got started, I invested in my farm area. Some people call it a list. If you're an agent, you call it a farm area, and that is your zip code of a minimum of 500 names and addresses, minimum. And some people invest in, like thousands of names. I think that's just a waste of money and time. If you got yourself a good list of 500 names, we are at the Yellow Letter Mentoring starting to give, you can buy the list, $25, you get 100. But you need to make sure you invest in a list. Whatever company you like using, some people like Melissa Data, this, that, and the other. And again, if you're in the Yellow Letter Mentoring program, you get a list. You also get guided in how to find the list. These trainings are just for me to give you the basics, and then you go out there and you either do it on your own or you connect with one of the programs we have. Either one is fine, as long as you're doing the work. So you need to have a zip code that you're focusing on. Get yourself up to 500 names. If you got more money and you want to get 1,000, get 1,000. But it's not good to invest in a list and the list just sits there. You got to use the list. You got to text them. You got to email them. You got to phone call. You got to send letters. You got to send postcards. You got to do what you got to do to keep yourself in front of them, to keep in communication with them. And if you have more money, don't be afraid to invest in a billboard. Don't be afraid to invest in a bunch of the bandit signs, but do things in an order and don't start anything that you can't keep doing. The bandit signs, though they're cheap, it's expensive if you put them out one time and then you don't do it. And it's expensive if you keep putting them out and then when people call you, you don't do anything. And then focus first on what you want to deal with. So if you want to deal with probate, which is people who have lost family members and they have a real estate problem, probate is always a death involved in a probate. It could have been a death now. It could have been a death a few years ago. It could be a death that they're expecting. I have a couple of probates I'm dealing with now, and the people are in the hospital. They are waiting for the person to die. They know the person is going to die. And then I have some probates where the person's great grandmother left the house to the grandmother who left it to her mother, and now she has it, and none of the paperwork is in order. So this is why you've got to also look at different ways of getting leads. But you have to be consistent, because if you have a list of 500 potential probate situations, somebody's going to start working with you. So now you have to build your confidence in how to speak to them. So again, money-making activities you need to focus on. You got to find 5, and you got to do them often. Bust your butt to make this part of your communication. Don't be afraid to approach people and say, I'm a real estate investor, but when you do, please don't do it when you have, your worst hair day, your worst nail day, your worst, shoe game. You just want to look neat and professional, because for some people, their home is the most valuable thing. And if you show up looking shabby to talk with them, they're not going to feel as comfortable. You don't have to spend $1 million. Just look professional. Don't look expensive. Just look professional. Now, if you're working high end, of course, you want to look a little bit more, because, people are going to compare you to the price point you're working with. So one of the things my broker first told me, and I will never forget, I met Mike Ferry, the first conference I went to with Mike Ferry, which was in 1992. And he had just closed like 87 homes by himself. And he was going from becoming a real estate agent, not even a broker, a real estate agent, into becoming a real estate coach. And again, you guys see his son, Tom Ferry, all the time. So, and you can still, I like Mike Ferry more than Tom Ferry, to be honest with you. So the thing is, the first thing he did, the room was packed, and he made 4 of us stand up. I was one of the 4. It was myself, another young lady, another young man, and like 2 young men and 2 young women. And when I stood up, he said, you're going to be successful because she looks professional. She even showed up to the training looking professional. And then he started to pull apart the other woman that was next to me that he had told to stand up. Then he did the same with the men. So you have to look professional. You are going to be talking to attorneys. You're going to be talking to people's family members. And so get used to doing FaceTimes with them. These things are very, very important. And I'm just saying, look professional. Put together. One of the things I learned in MLM is you got to put your presentation wardrobe in place. So put your outfits together, because again, this is a business. It's not something. I don't teach the get rich quick stuff. I teach the business basics. And I've been using this basics for years, and I've been teaching these basics to the people that I've coached and trained. And so it's the same thing that the people that have been around for a while really teach, but the newbies don't do that. So you got to work on your list, your zip code, and you got to think, what do I really want to focus on as I am working on either probate, foreclosure. Again, I'm teaching probate, but you might want to deal with foreclosures. You might want to deal with people that are just being relocated. Whatever you want to deal with, that's the list you want to focus on getting. Don't get a list that has a little bit of everybody, because it waters down who you're really going to deal with. So make up your mind who you want to deal with. Now you have to master communicating with them. How are you going to communicate with them? Do you want to call them? Do you want to text them? Do you want to send them a postcard? Do you want to send them an email? And then what are you going to do that's going to set you apart? So, because a lot of people are calling them, and if you're brand spanking new, you want to make sure you're set apart, and building a connection with them is going to do it. So I know for me, I also have a few bird dogs, which are people that look for properties for me, and they don't get paid till the property closes. But they know that I'm going to build rapport with their seller, and I'm going to do what it takes to close the deal, and I'm going to keep them updated as to what's going on. So if I have a bird dog that gave me the lead, when I call the person, I say, "Hi, this is Wendy. John gave me your information, and he asked me to contact you about your real estate issue. How can I help you?" So I didn't say, "Oh, do you have a probate problem?" No, because somebody already connected us. So then I can do that. And if I've sent them an email and they're responding back, your emails are just a way of talking to people. And if you look at me, I did very well in English in school. But I'll tell you, this is how bad some of my posts are. And I'm telling you this so you see you don't have to be perfect. But I'm in another group and I posted something, and a gentleman in his three-piece suit and all this and that drama doesn't have nowhere near the expertise or the longevity that I've had in real estate. I posted something, and because I didn't put commas and dots and this and that, he posts back. I had about 20, 30 people comment on the question I asked, and he says, which I also explained to you guys, find at other groups that have the people you're looking for. They don't always have to be real estate investor groups, but find the groups and post there. So I posted, and he says, "Well, what can she offer? She doesn't even have good grammar." And I waited, and I had more, and I waited to see if other people were going to chime in with him, and they didn't. But I answered him back. I said, "I'd rather have good manners and bad grammar than have good grammar and bad manners." So he deleted his comment. So you've got to learn to be able to talk to people in these places without being rude to them. And guess what happened? The person that runs the group reached out to me and asked me, do I want to be one of their leaders? So people are watching you, and you are looking to grow a business. You're looking to grow a business. Now, if you're looking for a quick paycheck, hey, Jesus, if you're looking for a quick paycheck, then you're going to look at your business differently. But I want you to look at your business as a business. And so now you want to post in different places. But again, if somebody's giving you the lead, you don't automatically say, "Hey, thank you for calling. I'm glad, Jesus gave me your information. What's your what stage are you at with the probate?" You haven't even built rapport. So you want to first build some rapport. "Hey, I got your information from, John, and he says you have a real estate problem that I could possibly help you with." Dialogues and scripts are not like a cardboard box. They're not like a very rigid conversation, or you have to stick to it. You want to get the concept of it. So you always want to say hello and say your name and make sure you're talking to the right person. So if you are dealing with probate from your list, from the postcards that you've sent out, or the emails or the texts, or however you're communicating with people that got you that lead, and I would suggest you put a budget together so you can start marketing for probates and foreclosures. There's a lot of them. I was surprised that in this very high-end gated community, there I found at least 200. And so, and I have different ways of approaching them where it will be helpful. Hey, Mark, you better not miss this. But it's very, very important that you get the concept. So you first want to make your mind up, get a budget to start promoting for either the probate, the foreclosure, whatever your niche where you want to focus, but you got to focus on the most problematic issues people are having in their real estate. And again, COVID is going back up, so people are passing away. People are passing away. I'm in Atlanta right now. I got to go back to New York because somebody very close to me, they're expecting her to pass away very shortly. And, you know, I want to be there. I want to be there for her, but I also want to guide the rest of the family of how to deal with her situation. So you want to have a marketing budget, and you want to focus on one niche before you you want to focus on one niche before you try to do everything. Okay. And start telling people, I'm in real estate. If you run into anybody that has a probate problem or a foreclosure, give them my number. If anything comes out of it, I'll be happy to give you money when we close. People are looking for money, so they'll be happy to do it. And then now you don't have to give them money out of your pocket until you close. I have a probate situation now where I've put out money for the person's phone bill. I've put out money for them to get around because they're in a situation where, you know, they couldn't do anything. So you might have to put out little bits of money, but it's all part of the business. And if you put it together correctly, you can get the money back at closing, or you can just say, I'm gifting you this. I want to look out for you. Because, I mean, you know, how much is really a phone bill? So again, when you speak to the person, how you got them is going to determine how you approach them. I'm not a believer in you have to approach the person and say, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through a probate, or I'm so sorry the person died, before you even speak to them. They've heard that a million times. They've heard that everybody's approaching them and saying, you know, I know you're in a probate situation, blah, blah, blah. So I usually start off by, hi, this is Wendy. And, you know, my team and I, you know, we saw your name on a list. If you got them from a list, we saw your name on a list, and we just are updating our records to make sure that, you know, is this a situation we can help you with? We help people from anything from cleaning out the place to helping you with an attorney to finding you a real estate, or we can guide you on how to keep the property. Do you think any of this is helpful to you? You know, you always want people to feel you're there to help them, not that you're there to get the check, because they get thousands of people. As soon as anything hits public records, everybody is on them. Some people even know how to get it before they hit public records. They make friends with attorneys. They make friends with real estate people. They make friends with, you know, different ways of connecting to people in probate. So if you want to just focus on the script, My name is Wendy Lovejoy, and I'm with the William S. Lovejoy Real Estate Team. Whatever your company is, if you have a company, and if you're a real estate business, you should have an LLC. And your LLC is the business. Your LLC is the business, you would say. If you don't have an LLC, use your Facebook page. But don't use something where you don't have good stuff they will see. If they come to your Facebook page and they see that, you know, you just put out there that you pissed off at your husband, or, you know, you put out there that your boss is making you mad, or you've been at the beach all day, that you want your personal page to become a little bit more professional. Because again, when you deal with the real estate investing, you're dealing with people that have real estate problems. And so they're going to look to see, can I trust you? I've had some people that, you know, have said to me, I still need you to send me 3 referrals. So I give them the people I know will answer the phone right away because they want to speak to somebody. You're dealing with somebody's number one, the most valuable asset that they have. And so you have to let them speak. You have to let them vent. You have to understand that they're not mad at you, but they're going through something. Maybe the person that left them the house hasn't spoken to them in a while. Maybe the person that left them the house wants them to divide the proceeds with somebody they can't stand. Maybe it's a family member that, you know, has caused drama to the rest. They're going through something. It's very rare that you go through a probate where it's all perfect. I've had some of those, but I've had more that wasn't perfect. And so I'm trying to get you in the mindset of not taking it personal, but no matter what they say or do, you ask yourself, how can I give them a solution? How can I give them a solution? How can I be the person that helps them out in this situation? Because if you do, then you'll come up with answers that are going to make you help them. And the more you can help them, the more they will choose you. So, hi, my name is Wendy with the William S. Lovejoy Real Estate. And if you're a real estate agent or broker, say that you are. The law says you have to tell them you are. If you're an investor, say you're an investor. If you're brand spanking new, you can say, I work with other investors, or I work with a team of people, you know, that have experience with probate. And we've helped a lot of people in these situations. And we wanted to reach out to you to see how we can be of help. Do you want to share, like, what part of the process of the probate process are you at right now? And then let them speak. And if they don't speak when you shut up, still stay quiet. Still stay quiet. And then they will have to, end up speaking. Newbies or people that are trying to get a deal right away, the mistake that I remember I used to make when I got started is when people wouldn't speak, I'd be so concerned that nobody's speaking, that I jump in. And this is where I created the phrase, or just came up with the phrase, verbal vomit. I said, oh my God, I'm just verbally vomiting all over these people because I'm just saying stuff that they didn't ask me to say. I'm just spitting out stuff. But if you're a strong negotiator, you understand that the person that speaks first lost. So when people don't speak and we're negotiating, I'll be quiet. It's better to count in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the time you get to 10, they would have spoken. So again, I'm teaching you techniques. Don't sleep on this. Don't think I'm just going to tell you, call somebody and say, hey, I saw you have a probate problem and I can solve your probate problem because I'm probate master and I've got degrees in probate. Nobody cares about all of that. What makes you different? Communication, showing that you care. That is what they're looking for. So again, and then make yourself bigger than you are. Nobody wants to work when they have a family issue. They're not looking to deal with you just you're a one-man shop. I went to a probate situation, and it's an elderly lady, and she's not feeling that well. I don't think she's going to pass away. But while I'm speaking to her, she started calling other family members saying, you need to use her, because I showed her some care. I sat there. We both had our masks on. Every now and then I lifted up so she could hear me. But I knew that she couldn't leave the house. She wasn't satisfied with me just FaceTiming her. I do a lot more FaceTiming with people, or we'll do a Zoom if there's a few of them, or we use other programs. Yes, you don't want to always let them, like you have all the answers, because you don't even know the question. So this is why you have to give them opportunity to speak, but you have to master the concept.